I'm trying to see if it's still light enough out to Periscope. Looks like it is. Perf 78. Welcome to my show. And I don't know what interested you enough to tune into this, but basically, if you look at the WikiLeaks thing that came out like 2 weeks ago or the week before last, there's a lot of those messages were people subscribing to something called CNN Politics NightCap. It's not some secret society. Anybody can do it. I didn't know about it. I never heard of it before. But then I subscribed to it because I saw the link in some of the WikiLeaks messages. And it's very interesting. A lot of very interesting things come out in this NightCap, CNN NightCap thing. Like, for example, today, it was talking about how Jeff Weaver, apparently the campaign manager of the Bernie Sanders campaign, came out and said that it actually is possible for Donald Trump to win under the current circumstances. He raised like $35 million in the month of July, and Republican donors are going to loosen up now that he seems a little bit closer to the general election, and there is a path to victory. I don't understand it, but he said there is. So I'm curious if any of my 2 viewers have an opinion, total of 3 viewers, 2 at the peak, have an opinion about Hillary and Donald Trump and what's going on out there. Does anybody think that Trump has a chance of winning still? I would like to hear from you. Share it out, swipe up or side to side if you're using an Android or iOS device, and let's try to get a discussion going. Is anybody out there? Send up a heart or anything, a message or smiley face or whatever. Seems pretty light here. Wolf Dealer, welcome. Hard-working, educated blacks for Trump, and low-class, educated, uneducated for Hillary. Hard-working, educated blacks for Trump, and low-class, uneducated for Hillary. I think you might be painting in broad strokes there, sir. I think that might be a sweeping generalization, but I think that Donald Trump is having some troubles here. So apparently Hillary Clinton got a 7-point bump from the Democratic National Convention in the most recent polling data. And I have, as much as that seems like very positive, I'm surprised it isn't larger, based upon all the things that went on there with that guy Khizr Khan and everything else. I'm amazed that Hillary Clinton didn't get more of an escalation in her popularity as a result of the Democratic National Convention. Nevertheless, she seems to now have a 8 or 9 point lead. Hello, CNC 1012. But that it would be that lead. I'm not sure that those numbers are adjusted for the Libertarian candidates and Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate. So I saw a TV ad for Jill Stein. It seemed very interesting. I don't know how much traction she's going to get. Nevertheless. So who on this call right now thinks that Hillary Clinton is going to win the presidency? Send up a 1 for Hillary or a 2 for Trump. 1 for Hillary, 2 for Trump. If you think Hillary's going to win, send up a 1. If you think Trump's going to win, send up a 2. And then what I'd like you to do is click that little guy in the bottom. Donald is a F-king idiot. Yes, I think most thinking people now have come around to that conclusion, sir. The question is, can she win? Wesley Tremel, welcome to the forum here. If you're for Hillary, send up a 1. If you're for Trump, send up a 2. DGALB201, welcome. Send up a 1 for Hillary or a 2 for Donald Trump. He is like a Nazi. I would be curious to hear what your opinion is in terms of if you think he's like a Nazi. I'd like to know why. And then Wesley Tremel, welcome. And I see you're a Hillary supporter. 1 for Hillary, 2 for Trump. I'm going to share with you guys that I, like so many other people, I'm going to have to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton because I have very little choice. And it's actually striking to me that Hillary Clinton with a 2/3 distrust rating. In other words, 2/3 of people polled said that they do not trust Hillary Clinton, and she's still probably going to win. And the question is, how do you lead when 2/3 of the people don't trust you? I don't know. But she's going to do it. And I guess what it boils down to, Donald Trump is the Archie Bunker of politics. Yeah, there's definitely some Archie Bunker in that guy. I agree with that characterization. But the question is, will he come close? And will she win? Because Hillary Clinton is so atrocious, so unlikable, so untrustable, that the only thing striking about this election is that the Republicans actually managed to find someone worse, so that people will hold their nose and vote for her rather than letting him get anywhere near the White House, the nuclear codes, Supreme Court nomination, or the other very important things that a president of the United States has to do. So I appreciate every single person that's tuning in right now. Welcome, Charlie South. We'd like you to send up a 1 if you're for Hillary Clinton, or a 2 if you're for Donald Trump. And when I say 4, I mean, who are you going to resort to vote for in September? Thank you for the info. Because it seems like most of the people on here are for Hillary. So then the question I have is, okay, so if everybody on this call is going to vote for Hillary Clinton, including me, the question is, like, on a scale of like 1 to 4, in terms of stench, is Hillary a 1, which is barely tolerable? 2, you have to hold your nose and vote for her. 3, you need a gas mask. Or 4, you have to come dressed to the polls in a full hazmat outfit. I'd like to know where you stand. I'm probably a 2 or a 3. I'm between a 2 and a 3. Interesting. And then if you feel like this is an interesting discussion, and I hope that you do, sad state of affairs for our country. Yeah, but it's where we're at. I agree. It's an atrocious state of affairs. Click that little guy in the bottom right corner and tell other people about this so we can get some more people into this room, because I think this could be a very interesting and enlightening discussion. So basically, going into the Democratic National Convention, my opinion was that the whole world had now become convinced, including me, that the primary was totally rigged. When that WikiLeaks thing came out and I started reading through it and reading the tone and the substance of what people were writing to each other within the DNC, I was appalled, shocked, and disgusted. Now, one positive thing that did come out of it, though, I found out about CNN Politics has this email list that you can subscribe to. Hello, Frank Good. You can subscribe to this thing called NightCap, and it's a once-a-day email that is a summary of different things that happened in the prior news cycle. Very interesting. Now, it's not some secret thing. You're for Trump. Okay, so we have somebody in here, Frank Goodwin, who's for Trump, which is interesting. I think you might be the only one on the call. So are you telling me you are going to vote for Donald Trump in November? Yes, sir, you are. Unbelievable. I don't believe it. Okay, good. That's what I'm looking for. I don't like people that just agree with me. I want to see both sides of the spectrum. So then, Frank, I got to ask you this question. What about this whole thing with Khizr Khan? I mean, isn't that atrocious? I mean, the guy's kid was killed in the military, and Donald Trump is saying those horrible things about him. I think it's like a race at the bottom. How do you perceive that? Do you think that Trump is off base in terms of off color in terms of his remarks about that Gold Star family? I'd really like to know your opinion. And I'd like to know everybody's opinion on that, because at this point, I think that it's amazing to me that we found somebody worse than Hillary Clinton, less trustable, with worse taste. What state will you be voting in? Well, I'll be voting in the state of New York, which means my vote essentially doesn't count at all. Trump is off base on things. Sometimes, however, I just can't trust Hillary. I can't trust her either. But I gotta hold my nose and vote for her, because what choice do I have? Because Trump seems... You know what he really seems like to me? I have thought, not just for a week, but for many months, I have thought that Donald Trump doesn't actually want to win. That's kind of what it seems like to me. Hillary got New York locked up. Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right, sir. In New York, You don't even have to bother voting for president. It's like a total waste of time. I thought so too. I think a lot of people think that he's just throwing it. It's a publicity stunt. Maybe he had a personal grudge against Barack Obama because at the Al Smith dinner 2 years ago or 4 years ago, Obama embarrassed him, blah, blah, blah. So he decided to run for president. I'm sorry I missed that last comment, sir. But I think that's really what's going on. I don't think he wants it. I think that's why he's acting like a jerk. So I think that what will happen is people will go in, hold their nose, they'll vote for Hillary, and that'll be the end of it. The end. No more talk about Benghazi. No more talk about the emails, even though that's still going on, and it pales by comparison with what's going on here. Now, I saw this TV commercial for Jill Stein. I got to see Bernie speak in Philadelphia. Oh, I didn't know. Is Bernie Sanders going to be speaking? Hello, Peter 657. That's interesting. So there was something in this CNN politics. For whom are you voting? I am going to, as I said, explained a little bit earlier, I'm going to hold my nose, and I'm going to vote for Hilary Clinton because I have very little choice. Nice toast. Welcome. What are these guys doing? So that's kind of where I'm at. And unfortunately, I think there's a lot of people in the same condition as me. We don't want to vote for, but what choice do we have? But do you acknowledge the third parties? Yeah, I acknowledge them. I just don't know how productive it's going to be to vote for somebody in a third party. Trump is bringing back old America. What old America? That's the rational choice. Yeah, I know. It's a rational choice, and it's not one I'm very comfortable with. And I think that maybe our problems are not over, because it's like, at this point, with that DNC and with what came out in those WikiLeaks, I don't know, did anybody here read any of that WikiLeaks stuff? Because I spent a few hours combing through it, reading people's emails, and I was disgusted. And it really made me feel like they rigged that election for Hillary Clinton. They're essentially protest candidates, important to vote for your opposition. Yeah, no, but the thing is, if you vote for one of those opposition candidates, you're probably taking a vote away from Hillary Clinton. In New York, it won't matter. In some states, it will. Why vote for a woman who laughed about bombing children in Libya? I understand your point, miss. Jobs in America, jobs for troops. Peter 657, doing so could end you up with a Trump presidency. I think you've got a point, which concerns me greatly. Now, has Bernie moved Hillary to the left? Who knows? Who trusts her? 2/3 of people say they don't trust her, and I think it was closer to 70% going into the Democratic convention. Hillary called young blacks and Mexicans super predators to America. That is true. In the late 1990s, she used the term super predators. It was atrocious. But you know what the worst of Hillary Clinton is for me? The worst of Hillary Clinton is the thing that's the hardest to explain. I frankly don't understand how somebody with any sort of ethics could vote for Hillary. Yeah, I mean, it's an ethical challenge, and I think that's why this election is leaving us all feeling like we need to take a bath. Miss, I see your point. The most troubling thing about Hillary Clinton, for me, is the Clinton Global Initiative. And you gotta read the newspaper to understand anything about it. My name is clearly Peter. I apologize. Sorry, I apologize. Mistake on my part. Something I missed the last thing. I don't know, I'm missing it. Things are going by pretty quickly now, but I appreciate you sticking with me, and I'm hoping that you're finding this to be a valuable dialogue, and I truly appreciate your comments. Keep them coming. If I miss one, I apologize. The Clinton Global Initiative is very complicated. I've read about it a bunch of times online. Peter is a snarky maybe. Peter is a bit snarky maybe. Dr. Stein for the Green Party. I saw a TV commercial. Looks interesting. I don't know the complete agenda. It's a little scary. Sheo 21, welcome. The Clinton Global Initiative, the CGI. It was a foundation that was run by Bill and Hillary Clinton. I think primarily Bill Clinton. But what it appears to me, hello Wesley, hi from Russia. What it appears to me is that the Clinton Global Initiative was essentially a lobbying organization. Hello, Mark. And if you were doing business with a foreign government and you wanted something in certain places in the world, you could go to the Clinton Global Initiative, make a substantial contribution, $500,000, $200,000, $1 million, and in return, the Clintons would help you get something. And that something might be, hello Pink Weather, you know, a favorable business contract in a foreign country, neoliberalism at its best or worst. Hey, pink weather. The Clintons were wrapped up in business activities in Central Africa, like Rwanda, Nigeria, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, and they were in close contact with some pretty awful leaders, taking money on behalf of third parties who wanted to accomplish certain things in these places. You gotta read and read and read to get to the bottom of it. Candidly, I don't understand it fully, but what I understand of it, it looks to me like the Clinton Global Initiative was some type of a international government lobbying entity, but it did things in the name of charity, and Bill Clinton got enormous speaking fees. And what is clear, what is absolutely clear, is that when Hilary Clinton became Secretary of State, his speaking fees escalated substantially. And that doesn't sit right with me. And it says to me, okay, you want to be a speaker, you want to be a lobbyist, you want to cut deals for Mark Rich's friends, if you want to do all that stuff, do it. But then you can't turn around and say, well, I'm going to run for president. Now, that's her, not him, but his speaking fees were going up as a result of her access in government. So it's very tightly linked. Watergate, Benghazi, Chinagate, Filegate, email scandal, Whitewater, Travelgate. The list was so long I couldn't even read it before it disappeared from my screen. That's my point, right? You're not going to be a senator, a first lady, a secretary of state without a track record. And if you have a track record, then people are absolutely right to ask what's going on with it. Know what has Trump done? Trump hasn't done squat except build hideous-looking buildings. I just get bored, but have fun if you can. All right, I totally understand if you got bored. Thank you for sticking around for a couple of minutes. I really appreciate it. Donald Trump is just an anomaly. Do you think CNN will do an Erdogan if he wins and shut down CNN if he wins? Don't know what that means. Sounds interesting. Trump is good at scams. Pink weather. So, you know, I don't know if Trump is good at... I don't know if scam is the right word necessarily. I mean, he's a guy who's basically like a lifestyle brand guy. It's almost like... I don't know. It's weird. Trump fuels the fire of bigotry. That is true. No question about it. Election is about atmosphere. I tell you what, I think a lot of what is going on is something that people aren't talking about explicitly. The country has been at war since 2001. I think people are weary, and that's what they're not talking about. We've had 5,000 people come back in body bags. That's 5,000 impacted families, a lot of people impacted, and we're not talking about it directly. Trump is successful. It's about feelings, about facts. Niger, welcome. What you call people money and says sue me when he breaks his contract. That's true. Tim6731, hello, honey. So, I don't know how to completely put a pin on this thing, but some component of what this election is about has to do with a country that's weary from being at war for too long. Good night, Tim. It's taken a toll. It's taken a toll economically. It's taken a toll on people's patience and morality, and things are just going a little bit wacko. He is treating this like a first job. That's why he is attacked so much, showing he's better and stronger. This is a bad election, but Trump is not the answer. People are just soft. No, sir, I don't think that's acceptable. I'm sorry. I don't block people very often, but I got blocked at. U.S. Marine officer, welcome. U.S. Marine officer, you know, a lot of his talk lately has been about respect for these Gold Star mothers. And I'd be curious, you know, what your opinion is on Khizr Khan. Because I see an honest guy giving an amazing speech. Honestly, he seemed to me the only person at the DNC speeches who was authentic. Trump will collapse us in again. I don't think he has a clue, and I'm not confident about the people surrounding him either. I think Trump is a big road to nowhere, and the signs have been all over the place for months. Black Lives Matter? Yes, Black Lives Matter. People are not soft, and being strong is not the same as being crude and rude. I agree. That's very straight up and accurate. White Lives Matter. Interesting. I don't know quite what to say. I don't like Trump, but Trump over Hillary. Really? Really? Trump over Hillary. And are you a member of one of the armed forces, sir, saying that? Flaco82, welcome. So everybody, I'd appreciate it if you would click on that little guy down there in the bottom corner and then share this out and tell other people about this discussion, because I think we could bring a lot more people into it. So if you're a member of the armed forces and you're in favor of Donald Trump, I would be very interested to hear why. Because I would have some concern as a member of the armed forces that Donald Trump might not have the mental capacity to deal with the hard choices that a president needs to make. Funny, and you were in the military and Trump trashes the military. Exactly my thought. Hillary's going to bomb ISIS. By ISIS. I mean, maybe that's what people think this is all about. People can't believe he questioned Mr. Khan's wife being allowed to speak as a Muslim. Zero. It was ridiculous. I don't even know how those people can stand up there and speak at all. You know, if you lose a family member, I don't know how you go on. And it was just the saddest thing in the world to see those people up there. Saddest thing. And that guy's an attorney. Apparently he's an immigration attorney. 15 years active, and Hillary is a criminal. Yeah, you know, military families don't like the Clintons. I certainly understand that. I understand where that's coming from, and I've heard this many times before. Really, the ideal candidate would have been somebody with some military experience this time. If you look it up, Trump told people about Osama before many. He told military to watch out for him. Hello, survival. Trump says a lot of things that are not backed by facts. Trump's going to destroy ISIS. You're a racist. Why am I racist? What did I do? Okay, I'm a racist. Aren't we all a little racist? So, you vote for Trump? No, sir. I am going to hold my nose, and I'm going to vote for Hillary. So now that we have some more people on the call here, I'd like you to type in 1 if you're going to vote for Hillary, 2 if you're going to vote for Trump. 1 for Hillary, 2 for Trump. And we'll kind of see where the count is right now. And then try to fight some more people. Like swipe to the right if you're using Apple device, or just click that little white guy in the bottom right corner. Anyone who opposes Trump is attacked. Anyone who opposes Trump is attacked. That doesn't sound too good to me. I'm not even from America. Okay, if you're not from America, then no number. Muslim Quran, look it up. I don't have the Quran handy. Can you tell us what that means? If Hillary isn't held to the same standards as the military, Saudi Arabia, DS 600. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a significant challenge for her to lead. I mean, it is. I hope that America rallies around her. I hope that some of the noise dies down after she gets elected, but it is going to be a barn burner, because if the New York Times had a, I don't know what you would call it, like a block diagram, basically a chart that explained how many people have voted for Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton at this point. It's very few people. If you take the total number of people who are old enough to vote, subtract the ones who can't vote, subtract the ones who don't vote, subtract the ones who don't vote in primaries, and we're left with like 6% of the people voting in primaries, they're voting for Hillary Clinton. The other 6% of the total population voting for Donald Trump. Who's he going to represent? If we can't get, you know, representation in the 20-30% range, I don't understand how you run the country. Who are you voting for? I am going to hold my nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. Unfortunately, I'm left with very little choice because the Republican Party has not delivered an acceptable alternative. Yeah, what choice do I have? Anyway, I live in New York, so it really doesn't matter who I vote for. So I have another poll that I'd like to take, everybody. Hello, Frank. Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson. He's the Libertarian candidate. Can't see it. Although, I did notice that, is that the guy whose running mate is Bill Weld from Massachusetts? Because Bill Weld is like a serious guy. I'm actually fascinated by that. Fassini 10, welcome. So I got another question for everybody. We're looking to film where users do nothing, never Trump. Anyone who has held a classified clearance knows this is foolish. Oh, that classified clearance thing, that really bothers a lot of people. I believe so. Look it up. So, all right, I have another question. Brazil #1. I got a question for everybody. So, on a scale of 1 to 4, where 1 is holding your nose, 2 is holding your nose and not breathing through your mouth, 3 is wearing a gas mask, and 4 is wearing a full hazmat outfit from head to toe, what are you going to have to do to vote for Hillary Clinton? That's my question. I'm a 2. And I'm curious where everyone else is on this call. Soothsayer, welcome. People have these wild names. You'd rather die than vote for Hillary. That's profound, sir. I do not speak English. Well, you said that in English. All right, we're up to like 10 concurrent viewers right now, which is very nice. I really, truly appreciate everybody tuning in. And the question is, how much do you have to cleanse yourself in order to vote for Hillary Clinton? 1, hold your nose. 2, hold your nose and not breathe. 3, gas mask. 4, full hazmat outfit. Do we have any 4s on here right now? Because I'm like between a 2 and a 3. You're a 5. That's pretty bad. Hey, from Brazil, what's going on? How's that Olympics going? We keep hearing stories about Zika virus. Apparently it's seeping into Florida now too. You're a 4. That's pretty serious. So 4 means that you'll put on a hazmat outfit, but you'll still vote for Hillary Clinton. That's interesting. Daniel White, 96, welcome. All right, I really appreciate the hearts and the little cameras. I don't know how people do that. Hillary is nothing but a liar and a cheat. Well, you're not the only one saying that, sir. 5-0. Okay, so this guy's a 5 billion on a scale of 1 to 4. So, but are you saying it's that bad, but you still vote for Hillary, or are you saying it's that bad and you're not voting for Hillary? Because on the spectrum of holding your nose, the hold your nose Hillary Clinton spectrum, no matter how bad you have to cover up the stench, you'll still vote for her. And I'm between a 2 and a 3. No, I wouldn't vote for Hillary. You wouldn't vote for Hillary ever, under any circumstances. Okay, well then you're not on the spectrum. Trump will win. I don't think so, but it's interesting that you say that, because Jeff Weaver, who's the campaign manager for Bernie Sanders, today said that it is possible for Trump to win, which I find far-fetched at this point, but he must know what he's talking about. Why would people vote for a lunatic? I don't know. I would vote for Hillary if ISIS was going to run. You would vote for Hillary if ISIS was going to run. That's profound. 90% of military are Republican, and they're voting for Trump. Yeah, that's very interesting. That is very interesting, because I do believe that military people don't like the Clintons, and I don't know the full depths of it. No, the predictions are 50-50. He has a big chance. Fact checkers can't keep up with Trump's lies. Bernie and Hillary voters are living in a fantasy land. Trump is reality. Can't handle the truth. Sir, I understand that there are notes that he hits that we can all relate to. But the bigotry is so profound and so naked. I just can't believe the majority of people that go to the polls are going to deal with that. Can't slump the Trump, baby. If that's reality, if that is reality, Trump, I am leaving. They will. I can't believe it. I don't think that's going to happen. Because it cuts across multiple bigotries. It's not just this isolated single bigotry. It's like full-bore bigotry on multiple levels. I live in New York, sir. Flip a lib and thump a thug, blah blah blah. Coco Love X1, is legal immigration such a crazy idea? No, of course it's not a crazy idea. I mean, we've had it for a long time. It serves the country extremely well. Flyover country will vote Trump. Reality, most people are not bigots and racist. I think you're right. I hope you're right. I wanted Cruz. Cruz is a mess. Fact checkers have no problem with Hillary's lies. Well, that's not true, sir. In fact, there was a story today came out by the fact checkers. They gave her Oh, somebody tell me. I can't remember. Laugh out loud. Get out of here. You literally go on Periscope all day and search for Trump. New York will obviously vote Hillary. I think you're absolutely right. New York will definitely go for Hillary. She's very popular. It's largely a liberal Democratic state. 4 Pinocchios, thank you. The fact checkers gave Hillary Clinton 4 Pinocchios because she was very carefully cherry picking when she was asked about whether she told the truth about her illegal email server. And she said that the director of the FBI, James Comey, validated that she was telling the truth. And in fact, what he said was, in a very isolated incident, a piece of what she said was truthful, but in the main was not truthful. And so they gave her 4 Pinocchios. Clinton hasn't had a press conference since last November. Going into the Democratic convention, I felt like that was a disqualifier. I thought the Clinton Global Initiative was a disqualifier. I thought what happened in Benghazi was a qualifier. Coming out of the Democratic convention, she looked like a genius. She looked like the best thing we've got. So I don't know what to say. Every time, Hillary Clinton actually said something interesting a couple days ago. She goes, I don't know where the bottom is. I don't know if there is a bottom. And I agree. I think that applies to her and to Donald Trump. But he's worse. And there's no way. I mean, there were signs months and months and months ago that he was unraveling. Everyone thought Trump would not be in this position. Now look at him. Next up, he's president. I don't think so, sir. Hillary needs a teleprompter all the time. They both do. Look at all the crap Trump says. It does not affect him. Hillary's an unethical beep. Stanley Cups, you got some points to make there. Iowa voting for Trump. I don't know. I mean, help me out here, but my impression is that if Trump wins in Pennsylvania, Florida, and Ohio, he'll win. I think the probability of him winning in Ohio is extremely slim. I think the probability of him winning in Pennsylvania is far-fetched but possible, and the possibility of him winning in Florida, skinny. Because he would require Republican support for that to happen. Jeb Bush was the governor. So I don't see how he does it. This guy thinks he'll win Ohio. Hillary has spent millions on ads. Trump hasn't ran that many yet. Yeah, but he'll have to. That's another thing. Even if he was a great guy, even if he was rational, understandable, even if he didn't have that preposterous wall across the 1,100-mile border idea, even if you didn't have those problems, he doesn't have the kind of organization that Hillary Clinton has. He just doesn't. He doesn't have an army of super smart people working for him who are experienced in politics. Now, maybe they're experienced in construction and merchandising, but they're not experienced at this. And for election day, you need a special kind of people. Who are you voting for? I guess people are coming and going, so not everybody has heard my soliloquy. I am going to hold my nose like everybody else and vote for Hillary Clinton, unfortunately. And part of the theme of this Periscope, crazy. No, yikes. Yeah, what choice do I have? What choice do I have? I've been given no choice. The choices have been narrowed down. They were narrowed down by the DNC. I mean, if all you got to do is read those WikiLeaks, you can see that was a rig. So they narrowed my choices down there. And now they've been even further narrowed. Because the Republicans, the best they could do was a complete raging lunatic who has no business being in the White House. Entertaining, but he has no business being in public office. Okay, the Trump chain choo-choo. So, no, sir, I'm not stupid. So glad you eliminated Trump. More WikiLeaks coming that will change your mind. I really wonder what's in the next WikiLeaks dump. That's interesting. My own theory is it's going to have something to do with the Clinton Global Initiative, because that is, I think, bigger problem than email, bigger problem than Benghazi, the Clinton Global Initiative. Because I think Bill Clinton has basically been a lobbyist for like the last 10 or 15 years on behalf of some foreign governments in sort of providing access to people in exchange for significant charitable contributions, and it's a mess. And I don't see how you disassociate that mess from Hillary Clinton. So up till this point, they've done it, I think partly because it's complicated and hardly anybody is reading the newspaper, but nevertheless, they've done it. Bill fell asleep during it. I noticed it too. He has a really drowsy look on his face all the time. So the theme of this Periscope is the thing that ties it all together is that I'm going to hold my nose and vote for Hilary Clinton. She's an incompetent racist. Hillary will start a war with Russia if she keeps talking like this. Vote for Trump. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. I am holding my nose, and I'm going to vote for Hilary Clinton because I perceive I don't have much in the way of a choice. What I would like to know from the people on this Periscope, what I would like to know is, on a scale of 1 to 4, where are you? 1, you're holding your nose and you're going to vote for Hillary Clinton. 2, you have to hold your nose and not breathe for a while to vote for Hillary Clinton. 3, you're wearing a gas mask. 4, you're in a full hazmat outfit going to the polls to vote for Hillary Clinton. Where are you? Send up a number. 0, no qualms. Okay, then that's great. Good for you. You're happy that Hillary Clinton is getting elected. It's just great. Hillary wants to take a turn on the desk with the cigar. Gross thought. Voting for Trump, you're a 5. 5 means you're voting for a Trump. I'm with Trump. Trump. So you got all the Trump people out here. I just don't see how it's possible, folks. I don't see how he could possibly do it. That stupid wall idea is a deal breaker for the majority of the people in America. If that shows up at the polls, he loses. He is very offensive, and it's not just a matter of offensive. He's an anachronism. As it faces women, he's in the 70s. He's in the 60s. It's not going to fly. I don't see how women are going to come out and support him. Muslims, not going to support him. Latinos, it's very hard to paint with a broad brush, but I don't see how he's going to win in a contest in states that have significant numbers of Latinos. Yeah, he's living in the 60s. He's living in the 70s. If he filters himself, it may. He better become informed on issues real quick, clueless when questioned. Totally clueless when questioned. Sir, here's my theory. I said this about 20 minutes ago. I'll say it again. I have seen hints for the past year that this guy doesn't even want to win. Is New York City expensive? I know it's a relevant question. I think it's moving there. Very expensive. Who cares? People are too sensitive. Where are all the men these days? No, people care. Here's the thing. New York City, very, very costly place to live. High cost of living, high rent, high prices for everything. Don't you want secured borders? We have secured borders now. Hillary talking women's rights and work burn you buffoon. I missed that last one. But interesting comments. I don't think that, and Annette, I'm not saying this like Hillary Clinton, we're better together and all that baloney. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that contemporary America doesn't want a leader who has a 60s, 70s kind of view of women. 20% chance Trump can beat Hillary. If he doesn't win, we are all screwed. Well, I think we're all screwed anyway. Hillary loves blah, blah, blah. No matter who wins, division will remain. That is a profound point you were making there, sir. I didn't catch your Twitter handle. It is a profound point because there is a little bit of a heads we lose, tails we lose problem here with Hillary Clinton. Because some people, and I am among them, perceive that the Democratic National Convention, that the party really rigged the primary so profoundly as to undermine the validity of the result. So she wins, and 2/3 of America doesn't trust her. I don't know how you lead. I don't know how you lead. Sandy Go Bill, welcome. If you don't want a wall, lead by example and keep your doors unlocked all day at home. I mean, well, you know, I understand what you're saying. That's not really a realistic thing to do. Well, you know what, guys? It's getting late. Even though there's a lot of light out still, that light behind me is a street light. It's not the sun. And it's getting a little chilly out here. No braces. Did your wife brainwash you to vote for Trump? What's your feet? What's my feet got to do with it? You're a liberal cuckoo bird. Thank you. And I don't think I'm a cuckoo bird. No, sir, I'm not showing you my feet. It's weird. No, it hasn't been a big enough deal. If Hillary wins and she can't pass bills, then what? Well, that's a valid question. And to some extent, isn't that what we have right now with Barack Obama? Oh, you're a cuckoo, all right. Feet. Why am I cuckoo? Why am I cuckoo? Because I'm going to hold my nose and vote for Hilary Clinton so that the country can go on and not be in the hands of a total maniac in charge of the nuclear codes? Where'd you go to college? I attended college at New York University. Let's see. Yeah, I don't do this often, but I think that's blockable. Doesn't need racist fairy tales to live. I'd rather have gridlock than poor Republican bills. I think that Wall Street probably agrees with you. One day Trump is going to say to a TV interviewer, I never ran for president. That's very funny. The nuclear code's so funny, I got a question for you. Okay, let's shoot. What's the question? This ought to be good. I'm losing my voice here. Do you live in a nice area, or do you see the downgrade of this country in your everyday life? I live in a nice area, and I see the downgrade, but I don't think we're talking about the same downgrade necessarily. Do you think Trump has other countries scared of him? No. This guy is right on, folks. Listen to him. I don't know if you're talking about the other guy or me. Even though you're a liberal idiot, you are very fair, good scope, thanks. Thank you. It's a very nice compliment. I appreciate that. If I could somehow turn a heart back on you, I would do it. You are a non-binary genderqueer. I don't know what that is exactly. The only bright spot in Donald Trump's speech was when he said he was referring to the LGBTQ citizens. I was like, that's impressive that he even thinks of the LGBTQ community as citizens, which is great.
Daddy, end it.
What? No, I'm not ending it yet.
But you have to go now.
You don't talk a lot, knows his stuff. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Who are you voting for? Okay, one final poll, and then that's the end of it. As I said, folks, I am going to hold my nose, and I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton because I don't have a choice. That's what I'm going to do. So what I'm asking you tonight, Cruz mentioned gays too. What I'm going to ask you tonight is, on a scale of 1 to 4, please tell me, scale of 1 to 4, where are you on the spectrum? One last time, and then I'm going to say goodnight, and thank you all for tuning in. 1, you're holding your nose and you're voting for Hillary Clinton because you have no choice. 2, you're holding your nose and holding your breath as you walk into the poll. 3, you're wearing a gas mask. 4, you're going to go to vote dressed in a full-body hazmat suit. 5, you're voting for Trump. Where are you on the 1 to 5 spectrum? 5, no effing way. Trump, 5. Why do you get some Trump people out here? Wow, that's incredible. And we have a 1. 1, that's like nothing. I'm between a 1 and a 2. And I thought I was extreme. All right, Frank. Wow, this is amazing. This audience really cuts with Trump. And I'm sorry, guys. It's too over the top. He's too over the top. You're going to build an 1,100-mile wall and keep people out and start talking about, well, you're going to put a ban on Muslims? How are you even going to identify them? Ridiculous. I'm not sure that the Great Wall of China is currently a political subdivision, but I'm not an expert on the subject. Thank you for your time. A temporary ban. Interesting. All right, everybody. Have a good evening. It's been my pleasure to speak with you for a few minutes. Thank you, and good night.
Daddy, come on.
Good night, everybody.